Campamento de verano.
The Spanish words for summer camp. And today we're talking with Moses and trying to figure out what are the differences between his childhood in the summer and my childhood in the summer. Are there any differences? What do you do in Ecuador if you're a kid in the summertime? And quite honestly, what do you do as a parent with your kids if you're living here in Ecuador? Is it better or is it not better? What do you think, Mo?
Who knows?
And good morning, and
Welcome to a beautiful day in Ecuador.
today we're making a video together, Moses and me. He is, how old are you?
8.
8, but in Spanish?
Ocho.
Ocho años. He's 8 years old, and today we're going to figure out, is it okay to live here in Ecuador? And the first thing might surprise you, is that, well, Moses, I think that your childhood in the summertime might be better than my summertime in the United States. And, well, we're going to discover why that is, but honestly, Moses, you got it pretty good here in Ecuador. Let's go. Let's talk about the similarities first. Honestly, there are a lot of similarities between summers that I grew up with and summers that Moses now has. One of them is that the pools are always open. And, well, it's always the same temperature here. So that might be a similarity and a difference. So you can jump in the pool anytime that you want to throughout the year in Ecuador. But in the United States, typically, almost everywhere in the United States, you're only going to be swimming in the summertime, which is beautiful. And it's super humid, super hot outside. Here, the temperature is going to stay the same the entire year. So you can swim during Christmas, or you can swim right now in his summer break. But on the coast of Ecuador, it's different. So their school year gets out in December and January. And here, well, we're in summer break right now, in the North American summer break time. What do you think, Moses? You like swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah? Pretty fun. Nice jump. Let's start with my childhood. My childhood in the United States was pretty awesome. I had friends over, my mom babysat during the summertime, so there were always people being dropped off at like 7 in the morning, and then they would leave late at night around dinner time. And honestly, that's a great life. I didn't get to go to too many camps because my family probably just couldn't afford it, and plus, we just had camp at our house all the time. People were always over, all of my friends came over, and it was a ton of fun. Moses just got back from a sleepover last night here in Ecuador, and so I think that that's pretty similar, that there's sleepovers, there's fun things to do with your friends, you hang out at home. I watched some TV, but I played a lot outside because it's summertime and it's warm out. Here, it's warm all the time, which is beautiful, and honestly, it's just more time to be outside. You don't have the excuse of, well, I'm going to school, so I'm not going to do anything outside when I get home. Well, Moses doesn't really have that either because he goes to soccer 3-4 times a week and he's outside a lot. But in the summertime, you get to do that all day and all night. How are the camps though? Well, if you're a parent, you're looking into camps because you need your kids to do something during the summertime. Here in Ecuador, there are tons of camps. And honestly, they're a fraction of the price for, I don't know, maybe better quality. The quality here is incredible. And basically, we've done this for 3 years now, where Moses has gone to a soccer camp, he's gone to a sports camp, and they do volleyball, they do tennis, they do soccer, they do basketball, they do all these different sports throughout the day, and then they order some food, sometimes like a KFC or McDonald's as a special treat, but usually it's gonna be some simple snack that they'll have, and then they'll have some sort of a lunch, and usually the camps will go until about 2 or 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and they get dropped off at 8 in the morning. And if you can relate to any of this video, make sure that you subscribe and like, leave me a little comment, watch until the end. And honestly, I'm going to be doing this crazy thing of a 4-day mountain bike race that I'm training for right now, but I just started. Like right now, I just started. And it's gonna be a part of these videos for a little while. And well, if you ever done a 4-day race, I think it's like over 250 kilometers in 4 days. It's going to be insane. Make sure you like and definitely subscribe to see if I can make it through this crazy adventure on a crazy mountain. Actually, several mountains coming soon. All right, here we go. Back to summer break with Moses. In the United States, usually those camps are gonna go for an entire workday, and you pay for it. The camps here are going to be around $90 per, for us, 2 weeks. There are camps that are way more expensive, and there are camps that are cheaper here in Ecuador. But in the United States, per 2 weeks, that's going to cost you around $600 for one kid. And I'm not joking, because I know a lot of people who are doing this and doing summer camps because the parents have to work. If a parent doesn't work, then, well, there's no house, there's no food, there's no nothing. So the parents sacrifice a lot so that their kids can go to these summer camps during the summer in the United States. Here as well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's the cheapest thing in the world to send your kid to a summer camp, but it's so fun. Moses loves the summer camps, and in the United States, the summer camps are also awesome. But I mean, honestly, I think they're pretty similar, and the biggest difference might be the price and also the language. Here in Ecuador, of course, everyone's going to be speaking Spanish. And sometimes they try and speak in English, but usually the camps are going to be in Spanish. In the United States, all of the camps are going to be in English. Unless you're from Miami or a big city where there are multiple languages, it's probably going to be in English. So, let's go find Moses. I think he might be just waking up from a nap. Come on. And welcome to our backyard. It is so incredibly beautiful out here, and Moses, I think, is still sleeping. I don't know, I couldn't wake him up. I don't know where he is, but I think maybe he'll be awake eventually after his sleepover. Oh, hey Mo.
Hello.
He's here. Moses, I need you. Moses, I need you to tell us about your summer. What do you do in the summertime here in Ecuador?
Well, I go on vacation.
You go on vacation? Yeah, here, have a seat.
I go mostly to the U.S.
To the United States, yes. And who do you see there?
Grandma and Grandpa. And
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of your friends, they don't have to travel to the United States to see grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles and things, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they all live here. They go to the United States to go to maybe Disney World or go on a family vacation touring around the United States or somewhere else. But typically, what do your friends do in the summertime?
They go to summer camp.
Summer camp? And what are summer camps like?
So basically summer camps. So if you're living in Ecuador, there's a summer camp. Let's see, there's summer camps anywhere. So you can walk 2 minutes away, and there's basically a summer camp, or maybe 5, 6.
7, 8, 9, 10 million summer camps. That's pretty cool. In the United States, basically what you do is you run to your friend's house. Is it easy to run to your friend's house, or do you have to go with a parent and be dropped off in Ecuador?
Well, basically, you go with a parent, they drop you off, you go to summer camp.
So summer camps here are a little bit different, and I think it's a little different too because in the United States, the houses, they don't have guards. So you can just go to your friend's house. You ride your bike to your friend's house, and then you play with them. Here, you have a big wall that you can't really get into unless you're tall enough to press a button and say who you are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you go to your friend's house by yourself, or do you have to get dropped off by your parents here?
I have to get dropped off from my parents, and then basically they pick me up maybe like 13 hours later for the whole night, and yeah.
Or 14 hours, maybe 15. Who knows? But sometimes you can do a sleepover, and you do that in the United States as well. And how cool is that? Also, Moses, when does your school year end?
The end of June.
Yeah. So your school year ends at the end of June. When does most of the United States end their school year? You know?
No.
Yeah. So they usually end their school year in May. So almost a month and a half you have extra of school. Probably we'll say a little bit more than a month extra of school, which is great for parents because we don't have to look for other summer activities and things. His school year goes a lot longer here in Ecuador. And then he goes back to school at the very end of August here. So you have 2 months off in the summertime, but you have a lot more breaks during the school year. So he could have off on a random Friday, and he could have off and we could go on a vacation for a weekend or something like that. But in the United States, it's all about summer. And parents really want to have the best summer vacation ever for their kids because that's their time off. Kids are off, so parents may as well take off as well. Here too, there are different vacations and things that people do here and parents do with their kids and stuff like that. But you can do it throughout the year as well. So there's the Christmas vacation where a lot of people are off. There's there are different vacations that you can go explore Ecuador here on a random long weekend. And I think that's a little bit different. Also, in southern United States, you go back to school at the beginning of August. Most places in the United States that I grew up with, it was middle of May, you're done, and then you go back to school about September 3rd or so. And that was my vacation. It was a long, long time to have off. And actually, as a kid, I was really ready to go back to school. Moses, are you ready to go back to school?
Never.
Make sure you like and subscribe and watch until the end, so that you can continue enjoying this beauty. I mean, come on, give me a like if you think that this is beautiful. If you don't, you're crazy. Also, in the summertime here in Ecuador, people go for hikes. It's a beautiful time to be out in the mountains, going for a hike as a family, having a little picnic outside, and enjoying time together. And maybe you'd go to the Galapagos Islands. Maybe you would go to a grandparent's house because grandparents would be taking care of all the kids. In the United States too, if my mom were close, she would definitely take care of Moses. She would love that. But because we live so far away, we have different camps and different fun things for Moses to do. There's music camps and there's also sports camps. Which do you prefer, music or sports?
Sports.
And also in the United States, typically you're going to have a pool to go to, a community pool, or maybe something within your like conjunto type of a pool. And then you're going to have baseball teams to go to and practice to go to. And you have your biker gang, like the people around your street who ride their bikes together. You typically do this throughout the week as well. People who just knock on your door and say, hey, can I come in? Which kind of exists here. We do have friends like that come and knock, but it's limited to our own conjunto, our own community, right? So I think that these are some of the similarities, some of the differences. And Moses, who is winning?
Me.
So I'm obviously not an expert on what kids do here in Ecuador. I'm a dad. I didn't grow up here in Ecuador. What was your experience like growing up here in Ecuador as a kid? Did you go to grandma and grandpa's and aunt and uncle's house? Did you do summer camps? What did you do in the summertime? Maybe you had a pool. Maybe you just swam all summer long. Honestly, I loved summer because it just meant not being in school and enjoying time with my friends. Moses is doing that right now. He got to go on a crazy, amazing trip to the United States to see his cousins and play with them and play in a pool and do all that fun stuff. And then he got to come here and do a sleepover with his friends here and then play with them now for a few weeks before school starts. How cool is that he gets to live kind of in both worlds for this summer? And honestly, there are a lot of differences, but there are a lot of similarities between the summertime in the United States and the summertime here. Let me know what your childhood memories are. If you're in the United States, what did you do in the summer? Was I way off in my summers when I was a kid and Moses' age, like 8 years old through 12, 16 years old? Or am I just completely on? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think. And, well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Gringo y Latino, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao, Pascal. You thought I was going to forget, didn't you?